And welcome back to Subculture After Dark. Well, we promised you in the last episode that there would be some big announcements around tours coming up in the next few weeks, and one of those big announcements has already dropped. In Flames, a joining creator, on a tour to Australia, and we thought we would actually get one of the members of In Flames on the phone right now to chat all about this amazing tour. Welcome to the program, Anders.
Hey. Good morning, for me at least.
Now, Anders, our listeners were writing to us with emails and on social media trying to find out what these massive tours were going to be, but I don't think anybody guessed that it was going to be In Flames and Creator teaming up on a tour. Tell us a little bit about how this tour has come about for you guys.
It's agents, booking agents, same booking agent now. That happened, but obviously we've known of Creator and know these people from before, and for me it's like a dream lineup, because Mille, the singer of Creator, he's the sort of the reason I sing the way I do, or at least the way I started to sing. So I heard Creator around 85, 86 for the first time, and I thought, this is insane, this is so good, I never heard something like this. So it's been a huge inspiration to me, and finally we get to tour together. Even though we're two European bands, we've never toured like it's when was it, like in 90? I think we did something in 97, but since then we haven't done anything. So it's really cool.
It's obvious that they've had a huge influence on you. Are you nervous about this tour in a way?
No, not at all. I'm just happy. I don't really get nervous these days. So, and obviously I met the guys several times, so it's nothing like that. It's just I just think it's a really cool package for the fans. I mean, it's going to be a great night, and that's what the tours are about. It's about sharing the love and passion for what we do with our fans. So the more amazing bands you have on the bill, the better. I think, it gets me psyched up. It gives more value to the ticket, and yeah, everybody's there to have a good time.
And away from the stage, how are you feeling about heading back to Australia again?
Awesome. I love it. It's we don't come there often enough. I love being in that country, and people are super friendly, and it's a nice climate. Now it's rainy and cold in Sweden, so and especially next year when this tour is happening, is snowing, so I can't wait to get away from here.
So what do you like doing away from the stage in Australia? Like you said, we have some great weather, and you're going to be here at a time when we're having some of the best weather of the year. What do you like to do away from the stage?
I love to go out and explore, eat and drink, hang out with buddies. So that's what I'm looking for. If we're anywhere close to the beach, I like to do that. Go out fishing, search for vinyl records, maybe buy some instruments that I don't need but must have, stuff like that.
Awesome. Well, my home city of Melbourne, we have some amazing vinyl record stores. I don't know if you've ever been to Greville Street Records, but they are an amazing record store here in Melbourne that even the guys from Nirvana went to once when they were in Melbourne.
Oh, that's awesome. I need all the tips I can get, so I'm definitely out there hunting for records, so it's cool.
Awesome. Now, as you mentioned, you don't get to Australia very, very often. Does that make it so much more special for you as an artist, being able to perform in front of fans that probably only get to see you every 5-6 years?
Yeah, I guess, of course, that definitely changed it up. So I'm definitely happy to be there. It is a little bit off the path from Sweden. It takes a while to get there, but I'm just grateful that we can go. And I would love to come more frequent for sure. At least once or twice every album cycle. That would be great. Well, now we're going, and we were there in March, so I'm happy to come back. This close anyway, so it's going to be very cool.
Definitely. Now, like you said, you were here not that long ago, off the back of the brilliant album that you guys brought out in February. What has it been like touring with that album? Because that was one of those albums where you just sit back and take a listen to it, and Forgone just completely blew you away. What was it like touring off the back of that album and playing those tracks live?
I feel they've been received well by our fans, and we love to play them. You know, we think more and more these days how, when we write the music, how they will transcend to live environment. So, and I feel it worked really well. And it's cool to see that they fit really good with the old material too, because we go all the way back to the very beginning, and then we play these songs, and they work out really well. It's not I wouldn't say it's a huge difference. Of course, many years in between, and you can always argue, you know, what is best or not, or which is, you know, whatever. Everybody has an opinion, but I really feel that they work really well together. Very strong live songs, and yeah, I'm looking forward to get down there and play some more tunes from the album.
Definitely. And of course, we noticed like a bit of a difference with this album with the new members, Chris and Tanner, as well, being in the band. Has that kind of brought a new life for you with the band as well, having those two new guys in there and doing so much new stuff with the band?
I guess, you know, Chris, we knew from the Jag Panzer and Nevermore days, and obviously through his time with Megadeth, so we've been friends for a long time. Haven't worked that as close as we do now, but I mean, he's an amazing person, and you know, that brings inspiration to the band. Same with Tanner, fantastic drummer, the best drummer I ever played with. No, and I don't want to say anything bad about the other guys at all. It's just that's a fact, you know. And we can throw whatever riff at him, and he comes up with something that is really cool. So definitely, you know, and it so much has to do with who you are outside. You know, what do you do outside the actual show? Like, all that brings stability and fun into the fold and into the band. And we should not forget Liam, who just joined us this summer, and he comes from Dillinger Escape Plan, so he has a lot of routine, and he's an amazing player, of course, but also a very nice person. It took him like an hour, you know, to get into the camp and be just like one of the boys. So it's very, very cool. So yeah, no, it definitely helps to have this the vibe, you know, like when we go on stage, it's a good feeling. It's the way it's supposed to be. It should not be a struggle, you know.
Yeah. What do these new guys like to tour with? Like, what are they like away from the stage?
Well, they have their routines, you know. They're Chris is he's working out and eating the right type of food. He's doing everything that I am not doing. So, and Tanner usually kick it by the hotel and then just, you know, relax. And I mean, he takes a beating every time we play. He goes, you know, really, really hard every show, so he has to rest in between. And Liam is the one that probably will hang out and have a couple of beers and talk about it and stuff like that. So yeah.
Does the touring get harder as you get older? I mean, you've been doing this a long time now. Like, I was going back and listening to some of your earliest music today, and going back, it's like 33 years now. Does touring get more difficult as you get older?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, we fly better, you know. We have better buses, stuff like that. So yep. All that stuff, and we have an amazing crew around us that help us out in every possible situation. You know, that's the guys has been there for a long time, but no, I think it's the opposite. Obviously, the state of the world is a bit scary. You know, go to certain places, and it's more difficult to find everything around you because it's extremely expensive. You know, you have to be really early to get buses and all the equipment that you need. But no, and I would say after the pandemic, I think this whole attitude, it changed a lot for me. You know, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love what I do, but I think there was time when you were kind of taking things for granted a little bit. You know, you write an album, record an album, release an album, and you go on tour, and you expect your fans to be there. You expect your fans to buy everything. You expect the fans to, all this stuff. And it's just a hamster wheel. It goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And then after the pandemic, that, it disappeared. And now I feel like I need to be there 100%. And I don't take anything for granted anymore. And I treat every show as not like the last one, but it's very, very special, because I know it could just be taken away, and it has an ending at some point. So I would my short answer to your question would be I feel it's easier, honestly.
Yeah. I think I know how you feel. Like I've told a few people this, but I got into radio at a very, very early age. I started doing music journalism when I was about 15, and I'm in my 40s now. And I think the same thing. I think I took live music for granted. It's something that every Friday, Saturday night, I'm at a live show, and I've been doing it since I was 15. And then all of a sudden, I found myself in the middle of a pandemic in the most lockdown city in the world during that time, and we didn't have live music for nearly 3 years. And it made me realize that just how much I'd taken it for granted. Like, was that a tough time for you? Did you almost feel like you were going through withdrawal because you couldn't get out there on the road?
It's I went through phases. We were around your in your areas. We were in New Zealand when we flew down there, and then the show got cancelled and we had to go home. And we were actually supposed to go to Australia, but they said don't come here because you're gonna end up in quarantine and you have to stay there for 2-3 weeks or whatever. And we couldn't have that, so we went straight home. But at first I was like, I was experiencing something that everyone in the world were experiencing. I felt like I was connected to every single person, which was really weird because we were all going through this in some way or another, So that was kind of strange. But then as the week passed, you realize, okay, this is not going to take a week, a month, or whatever. It's actually longer, and then it got more and more serious. But the first few months, I was at home, with my family, and I said, I'm gonna buy all this equipment, and I'm gonna build a studio, and I'm gonna just create music on my own, because I have to be. I can't just sit still and not do anything. I live and breathe music, listening or creating. So I had to do something, and it was fine. But then there was these talks about opening up and letting go of some of the restrictions. But then we got hit harder with this. What was it? Omicron. I can't remember the name of that wave of the virus. And that was really depressing. And then you knew it's like, okay, this is going to take a long fucking time. I will not be able to see my friends in the band, the crew, the fans. And, I've been doing this my whole grown-up life, touring and releasing music. So for me, that was the big... And I got into, I wouldn't say depression, but it was tough,
Yeah.
But that being said, all of this, it fueled the new album, Forgone. So something good came out of this whole tough time. And I was lucky my family didn't get hurt. We didn't lose our jobs or anything. I got away pretty easy, I would say, compared to a lot of other people that lost, a lot of things, family members and friends and their jobs or their companies or whatever. So all in all, it's been, I wouldn't say a good experience, but what came out of it was this great album and all that energy from that. And also this, like we just talked about, that new feeling of like, okay, everything is important now. Every meeting you have, every person you talk to, every show, all that makes more, it's more dear and more important to me than ever.
Definitely. Now, of course, that has also meant that fans here in Australia are eager for shows all the time now as well. And I guess that leads to the big question that they've been asking in our Discord group. What's your set list going to look like for this tour?
That's something I will think about on the plane over. It will be a good selection of old and the later stuff. You know, we like to go through all the thing. I don't really know the time we will have, but I believe us and Creator, if I'm not mistaken, we will have the same set times, and we will. I will figure this out. It will be good, no matter what, and then it will definitely be something for. I hope people don't walk away like someone. There's always someone who'll be like, I didn't play my favorite song, and we can't play everything, but we will try to include everything, and that's what's good about longer set times like this, where you can include, because I want to show everything that's in Flames, right? And we've gone through phases and so on, and I want to go. Yeah, I want to go from the beginning to. I was about to say the end, but this is not the end. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. Now, for all of our listeners out there, this massive tour, which has been called Clash of the Titans, arrives in Australia on Wednesday, the 14th of February in Melbourne, and all the ticket information is up on our website, subcultureentertainment.com, right now. So, Anders, to finish off, what would you like to say to everybody out there before they go out and grab their tickets, which go on sale Wednesday, the 25th of October?
Yeah, and I can't wait to see you guys again. We love Australia. You've always been really cool to In Flames, and go and get that show. Go get those tickets and have a good fucking time. We need that. The world is crazy right now. We need to escape for a little bit and just have a good time and get all that energy out. So it's going to be a very cool night. We will bring it, and hopefully you will bring it too.